This presentation looks at consumers' intent to take a vacation to Costa Rica based on their perceptions of the vacation's activity level. An experiment was conducted and participants completed a survey with regards to a specific advertisement. In this presentation, we will show the results of our study and the managerial implications. This survey concept is based on qualitative data collected by the use of the Zaltman metaphor elicitation technique. Participants were instructed to collect images and think of concepts that represented their thoughts and feelings about incorporating nature as a component of their vacation, and interviews focused on discovering motivations and deeper meanings. After the interviews, we developed a cognitive map that grouped together the ideas that appeared most often among all participants. It was understood that people seek a sense of adventure or an escape, ultimately challenging their comfort zone and providing some sort of reward. An ecotourism resort could utilize some of these motivations in the creation of their advertising campaigns. As displayed in this graph, the experiment was designed to show a connection between viewing an advertisement and intending to visit an ecotourism resort. We decided an important variable would be how active each participant rated his or her lifestyle, as well as the idea of self-image congruence, or the degree to which the participant identified with a certain advertisement. Half of the participants were shown this advertisement, labeled as the active ad. We chose to depict ziplining, an activity commonly performed in Costa Rica. Ideally, people who rate their lifestyles as more active would respond well to this type of advertisement. They could identify themselves as the person in this image and relate to the situation. The other half were shown this advertisement, labeled the relaxing ad. As you can see, there are similarities between both advertisements, but the activity shown is modified. People who rate themselves as not being physically active would identify more with this image than the previous. The degree to which people identify with the advertisement they are shown will ultimately affect their intent to travel. After seeing one of the advertisements, participants filled out a survey. The first 3 questions were designed to make sure the participants grasped the concepts we were presenting. They rated the image as active or relaxing, the likelihood they would engage in that activity, and the characteristics associated with the image. The third question was based off a previously created marketing scale. The next question measured participants' self-image congruence, or how much they felt the advertisement was in accordance with their self-image. Afterwards, questions measured the activity levels and ultimately the intent to visit the advertised destination. These questions were followed by demographics questions such as age and presence of physical disabilities in order to allow us to control for different variables. The graph above shows our predicted results. There's a positive relationship when physically active people are shown an advertisement portraying a physical activity in terms of their intent to visit an ecotourism destination. Following those same terms, there is a negative relationship when people who are not physically active are shown the same advertisement portraying a physical activity. Here are the actual results. While the directions of the relationships described before remain the same, people with active lifestyles are more likely to visit the destination after seeing either advertisement. With further consideration, it seems to be the case that, in general, active people are more likely to travel to a foreign location, given the time and effort required to do so. Using Excel, a regression analysis was performed on the variables investigated in the survey. The most important to consider are the main independent variables highlighted here in green. Other control variables, highlighted in yellow and blue, were also included in the analysis. Using regression, we were able to determine whether or not these variables were statistically significant. The highlighted variables are statistically significant based on the p-values. A small p-value, one less than or equal to 0.05, indicates that it would be extremely unlikely to observe the relationship between the variable and the intent to visit a destination purely by chance. When looking at the coefficients, it is also apparent that self-image congruence has the most influence on travel intent. A control variable that is statistically significant is the participants' rating of the image they were shown. While the type of advertisement is important, it is equally important to evaluate how consumers feel about it based on characteristics such as interesting, eye-catching, and likable. An implication here is to be sure to utilize market research during the development of advertising campaigns. Finally, by looking at the regression analysis, it is possible to determine how much influence all of these variables have on the participants' intent to visit Costa Rica. The adjusted R-squared value was 0.75, which means that 75% of the variation in visit intent can be explained by changes in all of the variables analyzed. Before considering the results of this experiment, it is likely that advertisements for Cayuga Collection resorts could be seen in magazines and other news sources that focus on travel and luxury. However, based on our findings, we recommend that you consider alternative advertisement locations that are less typical but may reach consumers most likely to visit a destination like Costa Rica. Looking at our findings, consider appealing to those who lead active lifestyles. Consumers ready to embrace nature by participating in a variety of activities would be enthusiastic about everything Costa Rica has to offer. So, we feel that outdoor sports magazines would be a great place for you to advertise for the active consumer who wants a little more luxury in their travel. We also want to suggest alternative advertising methods, taking full advantage of technology and internet resources. We recommend targeted marketing online by advertising specifically to users who have visited websites like the ones shown here. Consumers who visit these websites are great examples of the target market, particularly the product champions of these three brands. The values and concepts behind these three brands line up perfectly with those of Cayuga Hospitality. Consumers are prepared and immersed in various outdoor situations with a sense of quality, luxury, and responsibility. Partnerships with these companies would be great publicity, and overall we feel that the customers of these brands in particular would be ideal customers to draw to the resorts in Costa Rica. One of Cayuga Hospitality's main values is sustainability, setting the company apart from other tourist resorts in Costa Rica. In order to make this value a desirable selling point, we want to reiterate reaching out to the right audience. That is why we recommend focusing marketing efforts on consumers who enjoy high-quality outdoor apparel and who like sports and activities centered around nature. We believe that everyone would want to travel to Costa Rica, but would desire the vacation based on the advertisement they were shown. Instead, we discovered that active people are overall more likely to travel. Therefore, we created an advertisement strategy that focused on active customers who want to see luxurious but exciting images. We hope you have enjoyed our presentation, and we thank you for your time.